Hello folks, it's Gordon here, hope all is well with you. Now it's the 4th of February 2025 as I'm recording this video. A bit gloomy, spring has not yet sprung, although it's on the way. And there's a reason that I'm recording this video on the 4th of February, because it's Norman Wisdom's birthday. Sir Norman Wisdom, born on the 4th of February 1915, 110 years ago. Dead now. I think he's been in 2010. I think he passed away. So he would have been 110 years old today. And I'm going back in the past for the story of this video, but not 110 years, but 30 years. Because if we go back 30 years, Norman Wisdom got me my first job in entertainment. Brackets, sort of, close brackets. Because I had spent several years working in the music industry at that point, using an 8-step goal achievement formula. And I wanted to see if I could use that exact same 8-step goal achievement formula to get onto the actual performing side of the entertainment industry. And I was using that formula, and it had got me an interview / audition with the entertainment manager at Chessington World of Adventures, which is a theme park in Surrey. Is it in Surrey? I'm not sure it is. Is it in Surrey? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Just south of London anyway, let's put it like that. Theme park. Started out as a zoo, Chessington Zoo. The zoo is still there. It's a theme park as well. And I'd got a job with the entertainment manager to do costume character work over the summer season of 1995, 30 years ago. And I was sat in his office, and we were having a chat about various bits and bobs. And he said, "I like you," which was handy to know. And he said, "I like your interest in the whole spectrum of the entertainment industry." And he said he was interested to hear about my experience of working in the music industry. And he said, "But," which you don't really want to hear in an interview. And he said, "But you've got no experience that you can show me of actual professional entertainment, and you're 10 years too old." Because early in the spring of 30 years ago, I was 28. And he said, "This is a job for 18-year-olds. So he said, "You've got no experience and you're 10 years too old. Why am I even talking to you? Let alone why would I think about giving you a job?" All reasonable questions. And I thought, yeah, I'm buggered here. I'm not going to get very far. But I had also noticed that on the wall behind him was a big picture of Norman Wisdom in his prime. And I said to him, "You're right. I've got no experience that I can show you or tell you about, and I might be 10 years too old, but that wouldn't have stopped Norman Wisdom, would it?" And he looked at me like this, with a quizzical expression. And he said, "What do you mean?" And I pointed to the picture of Norman Wisdom on the wall behind him, and he went like this. And pointed to the picture of Norman Wisdom. Obviously, that's not a picture of Norman Wisdom, that's on my paintings. He said, "Norman Wisdom, what do you mean?" And I had not long beforehand read Norman Wisdom's autobiography, and it's fascinating. Self-made man who went from very little, lied his way to get into the army, where he learnt to play a load of musical instruments. One of the stories was he walked from London to Cardiff to look for work. Walked from London to Cardiff to look for work. A self-made success, worldwide success in the entertainment industry, went to the heights of fame and fortune and a knighthood, Sir Norman Wisdom. And I said that wouldn't have let him stop him, because he tried new things, put himself out there, took chances. And the entertainment manager, a chap called Paddy Kane, he said, he nodded, smiled some more, and he said, I now like you even more than I did a couple of minutes ago, and I'm going to take a chance and give you the job. And the job really was a fairly ridiculous job, dressing up in these costume characters, the ones with a full costume character that walk around theme parks entertaining the guests in the queues. And it had a big heavy voice box thing back in 30 years ago that you could talk as well. It was great. We'd entertain the queues before the park opened. We would entertain the queues waiting to get on the rides, and we'd also do our own half-an-hour show in front of the crowds in these costumes. So it was great learning experience of performing in front of a crowd, but behind a mask. So I had that sort of protection. And also, as part of the whole entertainment's team, I was able to get to know the dancers, the circus performers, the other street entertainers, the jugglers, the unicyclists, to learn about their experiences. And that's where I learned how to juggle, and that's where I learned how to ride the unicycle. And it also meant that when I was applying for my next jobs, which was pantomime at the end of winter 1995 into 1996, I had the summer season of Chessington World of Adventures on my CV. Getting the first job on your CV in whatever industry is often the hardest, because once that job is there, you've then got that as a leverage to build on when you go for the next job. The more jobs you get, not always, but it can help open up doors and bring opportunities your way, the more you've got on your CV, clearly. And it was, it led me on an adventure. As soon as I started my first day working at Chessington World Adventures, well, we had 2 weeks of rehearsals for the show. And the park opened, it must have been about March 1995, so it was about 30 years ago. And we had 2 weeks of rehearsals. And we were blocking out our movements inside one of the buildings, inside one of the rooms. And I was with these other entertainers, being paid to rehearse. And I just felt that I was where I was supposed to be. I was 28 at the time. And it wasn't the first time I'd felt like that, but it was maybe the first time I'd felt that in the zone, that much, that I was where I was supposed to be as an entertainer, albeit a brand new entertainer at the age of 28. So yeah, interesting story from 30 years ago, which I'm telling today on the 110th anniversary of Norman Wisdom's birth, 4th of February back in 1915. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever taken any chances? Have you ever put yourself out there where people have said, what a ridiculous thing for you to be doing. You've got there's no reason for you to be doing this job or for me to give you this chance. Have you ever been in that position? Let me know. I'd love to hear your stories. Signing off for now and wishing you as ever health and happiness. I'll speak to you again soon.